Morning diary.
Bloody nose or something?
Yeah, I have a bloody nose.
Oh.
It's my fault.
Oh, you picking your nose?
Last night, right before bed, Casey and I don't remember how the subject came up, but Casey and I were talking about hydroponics. And he was telling me how there's no need for pesticides. And I was like, wait, why don't we have more hydroponic systems then? And I was thinking to myself, how much land, how much farmland we could clear up just by making a giant building of hydroponics. You know, making it architected so that way it brings in the most light, and just make it the size of a skyscraper or something. And then I looked it up online thinking, there's gotta be hydroponic farms. At least I know that there are for marijuana here in Springs, or not in the Springs, but here in Colorado. And I found one that was a dome, and it had a really great system in Japan. And I was thinking to myself, why don't we just put this on the top of every business building, every factory, every building where a bunch of people work and breathe? And you can take the air coming from the inside of the building, which will be slightly more carbon dioxide inside, and filter it, not really filter it, but run it through the dome where the plants are. So it only takes one person to really work one dome. Main reason I say this is because the center of the United States is so flat, and it's nothing but cornfields. If we could somehow get rid of the need for cornfields, for miles and miles of cornfields, we could use that flat space for something, for cities, for living. We could, then it wouldn't be so boring of a drive to go from the East Coast to the West Coast, or vice versa. You can make it a place where people actually want to be, want to live. Unfortunately, the problem with it is it would take away jobs from farmers. And that's really quite sad. I mean, I would hope that if someone were able to make it a very profitable business, making these globes, that they would encourage farmers to do it themselves. The main concern for me is the fact that pesticides shouldn't be necessary. And there's a better way to make food organically. This morning, I watched one of Koi Fresco, I think his last name is. He's a YouTuber. He's a spiritual YouTuber, meaning everything that he talks about is spiritually based off of his knowledge and his experience, things that he's read, etc. And he was speaking about his thoughts on the election and how we can move forward. And it was very inspiring. It was basically, love thy neighbor, realize that they are just doing what they think is best. And I've been constantly trying to think of I know that half of the Trump supporters, not exactly half, but I know that some of the people that voted for Trump did it because of Obamacare. Sometimes I wish that people realize that spiritual people have a very great way of taking a step back and realizing a different point of view, or realizing or thinking things through that person's eyes, you know, that person's language. All of the things said about Donald Trump, from the words he says, albeit horrible, I don't see the amount of craziness that everyone says they see. Like, I can see that he is just a normal man, albeit a very loud man. And I see that, you know, everyone was not happy with Obamacare. But I wish those people would have realized that there needs to be a different way that we do things. And I also saw a post yesterday about how our millennials think that they're entitled. And it's not that we're entitled, it's just that we want a different world. We want a better world. We want one where we all care for each other. For humanity's sake, it makes sense to me that if it's illegal to take your own life, you get held in a mental hospital for 72 hours, that not only anything medically that is life-threatening to you, you should not have to pay for. Because you are life. You are of value. Every single human being. Now, anything that isn't life-threatening or disabling to your life, I think you should pay for. That makes sense. Because that's on you. That's you improving your quality of life. But if you've got a disability that keeps you from work, like schizophrenia, that's not your fault. That's society's fault for not being able to incorporate you. The world doesn't have to be a place where you have to do anything to survive. It can be a place where you feel loved and can take care of each other. So, I ended up waking up late and didn't get to go to the chapel, but that doesn't mean that I still can't meditate today, which is something I haven't done, well, since the election, actually. But before that, I hadn't done it in a long time. It's time that I start doing it often, or more often. I think we're good. Time to get moving. Oh, I so need coffee right now. Look at this. I still have this laundry. Maybe if I give myself some coffee, I'll actually have some motivation. Oh, lovely breakfast. Basically leftover cowboy beans and coffee. I love how my hair just sticks up in random places now. I've missed it. Not really. So something I forgot to mention about the hydroponic system is actually it's called Aquaponics, because what they do also to keep away bugs is they have a fish farm in the water. So that way the fish eat the bugs and the fish poop provides nutrients. That way you don't have to use plant nutrients, and it keeps us from pulling the minerals from chemicals or from the earth. You know, it's more natural. That, and you have a fish farm. So, voila. Ever since I deleted Sims free play off of my phone, it's been hard to find stuff to keep my brain occupied. I mean, I'm glad that I did because it was a waste of time and energy. But I do hope that this boredom passes over. So of course I do my daily Facebook newsfeed check, usually when I wake up in the morning, so I saw that my father-in-law had posted an article about how police were handing out participation trophies to millennials to calm them down, and apparently it worked. I'm hoping that this is a joke article and not for real. So far I have not found any other articles about it. And I asked my father-in-law and he hasn't replied yet. But, I mean, that sounds ridiculous, right? I know I'm gullible, but that just seems... No. That's silly. That's an insult. Anyway, I looked at the popular vote tallies because I know they're still tallying them, I guess. And it seems that Hillary Clinton so far has beat Donald Trump in the popular vote by 631,000 votes so far. And that is more than the population of Colorado Springs. So, I mean, I think that's definitely a win. That's majority. If people weren't so scared that Trump was going to win and they voted Hillary, I mean, if you take that fear out of like wasting your vote because of the two major parties, I think people would have voted more for third party. Or maybe that's just me hoping. I don't know. It's so gloomy out. It's not good for lighting. So, I know I said that Casey and I went on the border for Veterans Day. Well, we got there, and of course there was a wait because it's Veterans Day, and they're offering free food. And we live in a city that has 3 military bases. We saw that there was an L&L literally right next door, and we were like, we're gonna go and get some Hawaiian. The sushi I was talking about, made with chicken and duck or red meat, is basically Hawaiian food. It's Musubi. My bad. But I love L&L. I love mixing the mac salad with the rice and the coleslaw mix, and it's so yummy.